Xcessive Force Fighting Championship took over the Entrec Centre in Grand Prairie, Alberta yet again, and Liberty Multimedia stopped on by. I'm Dylan Bowker, and the night kicked off with Jesse Bull defeating Joe Westbrook, a big knockout punch in 12 seconds. From there went into Danny Amberson taking on Nasser Pega, an amateur catch weight at 120 pounds. So these guys really keeping up a torrid pace all throughout. The big story of the fight, Amberson with multiple takedowns in each of the rounds. Nasser really showed an ability to scramble, get back to the feet, and definitely got some striking exchanges going on, but it was really in that third round, it was evident Danny maintained top control, advanced position, good ground and pound work, and then Danny Amberson coming out with that unanimous decision victory. From there, Brock Holmes taking on Ryan O'Connor. That was in an amateur welterweight contest there. Big story of the fight seemed to be in the folk style approach that Brock brought to the table. A lot of Greco-Roman tendencies, pinning O'Connor against the cage. Now, in the moments of separation, it seemed like Ryan had the striking edge, seemed like hands were landing somewhat well. So there was some kick connectivity going on there, but it was all about the Greco-Roman for the most part. Brock edging out a split decision victory. And then from there, Brock Holmes claiming the belt. Austin Russell, a fight that certain people were saying was the fight of the night. I quite enjoyed it myself. I thought definitely could have been one of the big fights up there. Great getting off strikes well, noticeable body kicks, a big right in the first frame there. Austin trying for a takedown, which ended up getting stuffed. In the second frame, just big low blow that Gray took early on, but rallied back. Kind of tough to do that, taking a low blow of that magnitude. Landed a big body kick, time to Russell kick, got the takedown from there. And then we saw Austin getting a little bit of blood going. Versus Riley Peck when amateur welterweight title was up for grabs, and Riley wasted no time, a round one finish in 33 seconds. Now a big right initially dropped Vatcher, a head kick shortly after that rocked him as well, and one more follow-up ground and pound shot wrapped things up, and 33 seconds, like I said, first frame, Riley Peckwit is the amateur XFFC welterweight champion. And Steve McDonald taking on Kyle Francotti, another instance of a beloved hometown fighter. A thunderous reaction for Kyle Francotti. Kyle securing a body lock really quickly in the opening round of that fight there, just as soon as it started, as soon as refs said go, you know what I mean? Scramble broke out there. McDonald seemed to land a solid elbow. Kyle responded in kind with some steady knees to the body. McDonald would get a trip takedown. A scramble took place. Kyle ended up on top after that, and some good momentum was getting going. Unfortunately, though, there was a sequence with multiple inadvertent low blows from Kyle towards Steve there. Referee Jaron Vallel penalizing Kyle for this. The crowd was booing the ref's call heavily. They weren't exactly too keen seeing hometown guy getting reprimanded there, but big left and follow-up punches from McDonald ended up felling Francotti almost immediately after action was resumed following that second inadvertent low shot there, and just some heavy boos for Steve, but he kind of embraced it. I mean, I think he understood what the situation was there. 2 minutes 43 seconds, a round one knockout in that instance. Now, that Kyle Francati versus Steve McDonald fight, it did mark the beginning of the professional portion of the card. Here in the co-main event, another professional bout between Nick Kraybeck and Randy Mahan. And now, early on in this fight, we saw GP's own Randy Mahan getting the locals fired up with some stiff leg kick, was finding some timing with that, but just, it was all about the flurries from Nick, and just a torrid pace, never let up. It was just unrelenting, and that resulted in a TKO stoppage, 2 minutes, 39 seconds into the very first round. In the main event, though, we saw a bout that pretty much lived up to everyone's expectations, I would have to think. Michael Hill and Cody Cron going at it in the top of the marquee bout. Feeling out early on, a lot of feints from both, just guys trying to get comfortable, trying to feel at a rhythm, trying to measure things out there. Multi-strike combo from Hill landing on Cron, mixing in some punches and kicks well. Cron really working in the jab and body shots well, and with time would also integrate the leg kick regularly, but it seemed to be Hill who was finding his rhythm with some bigger shots and just getting into more multi-strike kind of combinations. A ton of heart shown by Cron in a lot of instances, though. I mean, there was initially a cut underneath the eye, blood started running down, and ended up being blood coming from what looked like his big toe, his nose, his mouth, still going on, exhaling large mixtures of saliva and plasma. Just a really visceral kind of sight, but at the same time, a very just inspirational one, just still persevering and breaking through multiple walls there. And there was a lot of just great back and forth between the two guys, just really obvious respect that was great to see. I mean, you'd see instances in the fight where a person would time the other's entry well, and the other guy would be like, oh yeah, right on, touche, yeah, just giving them props to it. They would be talking to each other, they high-fived before the final round there. At the same time, though, they were just slinging leather, throwing some really crazy combinations, and that top of the marquee prize fight, like I said, living up to expectations. Michael Hill getting the W there, unanimous decision in his first foray in the middleweight division. But he also voiced a desire to go to 170 pounds or even try a cut to lightweight. He actually came over by the media table and said to all involved, myself included, Michael Hill said, "Where's Sheldon Westcott?" That's all he wants to know. He just wants to know where's Sheldon Westcott. So that seems to be the future opponent for Michael Hill. That is in his near future. But as far as XFFC goes, in their near future, hitting the road in their next outing. The targeted date is April 28th. Penticton, BC will get excessive. If you want to check out XFFC 17 Brawls Deep, there's replay options that are available over at Fite TV. A lot of fun had at XFFC 17. Liberty Multimedia got excessive.